So my name is Samantha Hanlon, and today I will be peer reviewing Paul Porter's Street Photography Part 1. I wanted to start out by saying that the artist had a really great concept and start to the project. There are some images in this portfolio that really capture the human condition, what street photography is designed to do. I really like this first image. I think it really just kind of dives into like the human condition, but what I would like to see is a little bit more of like street photography aspects to it, but I think it's a good start. I also really like this one as well. I like how um, the man is kind of just off to the side a little bit, and I like how there's kind of depth to the image, and you can't really quite tell what's going on, but you can kind of make an inference and make a guess about the image, which I like because it's not really just like a set idea that's going on with the image. So the artist has also used the elements and principles of photography in their photographs. For example, this photo right here I like because you can kind of see a little bit of contrast with the trees and then the table, like the things, the umbrellas right here, kind of like a contrast of light and dark, and you can kind of see there's someone right here, and it's kind of interesting because it kind of dives more into the landscape, and you can see the landscape, but there's also a person right here, and it kind of gives you kind of like a thought of like what is going on with him and everything. But an image that I would also like to discuss that I really liked is this image right here. This image, I really like how the depth kind of leads into this, and it's got some depth leading up to this building, and it's kind of like a path. And I also like how the trees sort of frame the image and kind of give a dark contrast, and so does the soil. And then this is kind of like a light, almost, it kind of gives off like a light at the end of the tunnel kind of feeling to it. And I really like that, and I also like how the car is out of the frame, which is kind of cool because it's like a little bit blurry, but the rest of the image is still, which is also really interesting. And you can see the man's kind of looking back. Obviously, you don't know like what he's looking back at or anything, but it's kind of interesting because it looks like he's looking at the camera. So I really like that image. And another one of my favorites is actually this one right here. It's interesting because you can see the children playing in the fountain. And it's sort of cool because you don't know, maybe it was a hot day or something, but you can see that the kids were having fun, and it's interesting because there's no one else around them. So it kind of sort of gives off an isolated vibe to this town, which really isn't true with Lexington. So it's sort of cool to see a little bit of isolation and everything in the image and just see the kids being kids. So that was really cool. So I really liked those images, but there were a few that I think could use work. There was a few images like these where there really wasn't any human condition being shown in it. There was really no people. It was more just focused on the street. And I liked the images. I liked the composition in them, but I think it would be more interesting to see a little bit more of the city through a human perspective and what the people are doing in it. So I think overall with street photography, it's supposed to show sort of like an image through the human condition. And like images like this, they don't really show anything about human condition or anything. So I think it's somewhere that the artist can kind of jump from and kind of work on more showing the human condition and everything. But overall, I really think that the artist has tried to capture the street photography in general just with sort of the idea of it, and they really captured kind of like the idea of the places, even though there's no like humans in some of these. I really like that there's sort of just like a vibe. It's almost a vibe of isolation and stillness, which is really interesting given that Lexington is usually a very busy city. But overall, I think the artist really has a strong jumping point for the final project, and I really like what they've done so far, and I think there's room to expand, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future.